I never expected my own sister to turn my life into a spectacle. But sometimes betrayal doesn't come from strangers. It comes from the people who sit at your family table. So listen closely, because what happened at my grandmother's celebration didn't just change my family, it changed me. This is the kind of story you don't look away from, the kind that grips you from the first second, because revenge isn't always loud. Sometimes it walks into the room quietly, wearing handcuffs. For months, my sister Claire had insisted that my business was a fantasy. I had worked hard to build my small logistics company from scratch, and after years of struggle, it was finally profitable. But Claire hated the idea of me succeeding before her. She said I exaggerated my earnings, faked my contracts, and made up clients to impress everyone. I brushed it off at first. Families tease, right? But she didn't stop. Instead, she escalated. She hired private investigators, not to find the truth, but to shame me publicly. She wanted a scene. She wanted drama. And she planned the reveal for the biggest event of the year, Grandma's 80th birthday celebration. Everyone would be there, uncles, cousins, family, friends, even people I didn't remember. A perfect stage for humiliation. The night before the party, she called me just to laugh. "Hope you're ready for tomorrow," she said. "Some truths are painful." The confidence in her voice worried me, not because I feared being exposed, I had nothing to hide, but because I knew she had crossed a line she couldn't walk back from. What I didn't know was that the investigators she hired were not who she thought they were, or rather, they weren't working the case she believed they were. The morning of the celebration, the air felt different, heavy, expectant. The rental hall was decorated with golden lights and silver balloons, and Grandma glowed in her favorite blue dress. I wanted the day to be about her, not whatever spectacle Claire was brewing. Just before dinner, Claire tapped her glass and raised her voice. "Everyone," she said proudly, "before we start, I have something important to reveal." The room fell silent. My stomach tightened. I could see the anticipation on her face, the excitement of someone who believed she was about to win. She gestured dramatically toward the doors. "I hired professional investigators to verify my brother's so-called business claims, and they're here right now with the results." A few people gasped. Grandma frowned. My aunt shook her head as if she already knew Claire was up to something ridiculous. And then the doors opened. But instead of walking in with files or charts or accusations, the two investigators entered with unexpected tension in their steps and handcuffs clipped to their belts. Claire's smile froze, confused. She whispered to them, "Well, tell everyone what you found." The taller investigator, a stern woman with sharp eyes, stepped forward. "We will," she said, "but not what you expect." Claire looked around helplessly, still convinced she was in control. The investigator continued. "We were hired to follow your brother, but during our examination of the documents you sent us, bank statements, tax filings, business IDs, we discovered something unusual." A ripple of murmurs filled the room. I stayed quiet. The investigator raised a folder. "These documents weren't forged by him. They were altered by whoever provided them to us." Claire's face drained of color. "That's impossible," she stammered. "I just sent what I found." The investigator shook her head. "These files were accessed illegally, and the metadata shows they were edited using your device." The crowd gasped again. Grandma's hand tightened around her cane. The second investigator stepped forward. "Ma'am, you attempted to fabricate evidence to falsely incriminate someone. That's not only unethical, it's a criminal offense." Claire stumbled back. "Wait, no, I didn't mean, this is a mistake." The investigators exchanged a look. "We don't make mistakes in cases like this." Claire started shaking. She had planned a public humiliation for me, but the trap she set had snapped back onto her. That moment, that was my hook. That was my justice. I didn't smile. I didn't gloat. I didn't need to. The truth handled everything for me. And then it happened. The investigator reached for her handcuffs. The entire room froze. Even the music in the background seemed to stop. Claire raised her hands in panic. "Please, we're family. You can't arrest me here." The investigator calmly replied, "The location doesn't matter. The intent does." Claire turned toward me, tears welling in her eyes. "Please," she whispered, "tell them to stop." For a moment, I saw the sister I grew up with, the one who shared secrets, birthday cakes, and long car rides. But then I remembered the phone calls, the accusations, the deliberate plans to destroy everything I built. And I realized something important. Forgiveness doesn't mean allowing someone to hurt you again. I stepped forward slowly. "I'm not the one you need to convince," I said quietly. "You did this to yourself." The room remained silent as the investigators gently but firmly placed the cuffs around her wrists. Claire wasn't taken away immediately. They led her to a side area to finish paperwork. But the message was clear. Her plan had collapsed. Her attempt to ruin my reputation had revealed her own intentions instead. After the investigators left with her, the celebration continued, but the atmosphere had changed. People came up to me, offering support, telling me they always believed in my work. Grandma rested her hand on mine and said, "Truth always comes home, sweetheart. Sometimes it just takes the long road." Those words stayed with me. That night, as I drove home, I realized this wasn't just revenge. It was resolution. It was closure. Claire's choices caught up to her, not because I sought vengeance, but because she created a path that led directly to it. And now, to anyone listening, here's the message. If someone doubts your journey, let your work speak. If someone tries to break you, stay steady. Because people who build their lives on honesty don't need to chase revenge. The truth delivers it for them. And if you want more stories like this, stories where justice finds its way no matter how twisted the path, make sure you follow, like, and subscribe. Trust me, you don't want to miss what comes next.